I've gotten all kinds of questions from every single one of my clients about what to expect when you're actually going to trial. It's the most scary thing for them, and I totally get it. If you are unfamiliar with the process, if you've never been to court, all of a sudden these folks called a jury are going to be making decisions on your behalf. I know there's a lot of questions. What should we say? Where should we sit? What should we do? First, know that you can trust your lawyer. Ask your lawyer anything. If you have any kind of fears or doubts or anything, it's always better to ask your lawyer before you go to court. Make sure you ask for a meeting with them. If you can't be in person at least a month ahead of trial, do a conference over a video call, like Zoom or Teams or something like that, so you can see them and ask them questions. Don't be scared to ask them questions. Generally when you're on the stand, you want to be as direct as possible. You want to listen to the question. You want to answer the question. Don't offer additional information that you're not being asked. So the only exception to that, I would say, is if you're talking about your damages, really the harm that this incident has caused you and your family. This is your chance. This is your one chance to tell the jury what this has meant to you, what it has felt like to go through this process. So it's super important that you elaborate when it comes to how this has impacted your life. The only time you would be talking to the judge is if you were on the stand. If you are called as a witness, then you're on the stand and you should be talking to the lawyer and also looking at the jury when you're answering questions. I will tell you that the jury is watching all of us all the time. Clients, lawyers, witnesses, everybody involved. Even when you don't think they're looking. So you are always on stage and you should always be thinking the jury is paying attention. Most of the time, you're thinking about things that you went through that are so traumatic. You're having to remember things that you've kind of put out of your head. So just know that those underlying emotions of hurt sometimes make you feel angry. So important that you do not get angry. Jurors certainly don't like when you're combative, when you're arguing. If you have something to say that you think you should be saying when the other side, when the other lawyer is asking you questions, don't worry. Your lawyer, when they get back up to ask you questions on what we call redirect, is going to clarify everything. That lawyer will ask you questions so that you can tell the part of your story that you didn't get to tell. So trust your lawyer, make sure that you know that they're there for you, and do not fight with the other side. So when you're in a trial, you just have to be really careful about what you're speaking about when you're in the hallways. You never know if there's going to be a juror around the corner listening, a juror in the restroom, when you're talking to maybe somebody else that you went in there with. It's so important that you don't talk about the case at all outside of that courtroom and outside of a very private area that you know is safe to talk to your lawyers, because you might be talking about something really completely different and someone might overhear you and think that it has to do with your case, and they might interpret that negatively. Just know that you are there to tell your story in the court when you're on that stand and nowhere else. Just be very cautious about talking to anyone outside of the courtroom and certainly about talking about the case. So I hope this has been helpful to you, and we look forward to talking to you again.